is the senior publicist of Maylee Media, a God-fearing publicist, business owner, and servant. She's known to generate results for her clients. Known to some as a former collegiate athlete, she is acknowledged as one of the best publicists there is. As the owner of the PR firm Maylee Media and creator of It's Just PR, Deidre has a passion for exposing the unexposed and making way for the next up. She's a proud undergraduate of Georgia State University, holding two, not one, but two bachelors in public relations and film video, and a recent MBA sports management graduate of Lynn University. The recognized publicist is the recipient of the APAT Society Power 30 Sports Lovelies. Welcome, Deidre Palode, to the Just in the Sports Quarantine Edition. Hi, Deidre!
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful, wonderful. I'm so excited to finally speak to you. It's been like crazy these last few weeks in sports, but hey, we're here. You're here.
We're here.
I'm here.
And that's a blessing.
That's a blessing. Now, speaking of blessing, let's talk about how was Maylee Media created?
Whoa, okay. So, Maylee, a lot of people think that that's my name, but it's actually my grandmother's name. I lost my grandmother back in 2006. And if you really, really know me, she was my mom. Like, the doctor didn't touch me. My grandmother was the first one to put her hands on me when I came out the womb. So she had raised me from birth up until her death when I was 16. So
Aww.
If anybody knows her, she was not a stranger. Like, everybody called her mother. So she didn't meet any strangers. And that's the same thing I took into basically birthing my PR firm. We don't meet strangers. We're very big on relationships. And, you know, as a publicist, that's our job, is to build beneficial relationships. So I started Maylee Media back in 2014, and that was a year after I graduated from Georgia State. I have been in PR since about 2010, but I've been in media since about 2007. So, yeah, that's how I came up with Maylee Media. It's named after my grandma.
Oh, I love stories. I love the behind stories. That is so sweet. It's just an amazing tribute to the grandparents, you know?
Thank you.
I love it. So let's talk about you being a former collegiate athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
You played basketball. Is that what
I played basketball was my first love. Like, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be on somebody's professional team. I didn't know what a publicist was. I knew what a basketball player was, and that's what I wanted to do. So basketball was my first love, and I actually went to college off a track scholarship. And what's funny is I never got into track or running until I was like in 7th grade. I only ran for fun. And I remember me and my childhood bestie at the time, we made a bet. Like, I bet you won't run track. I bet you won't make the team. And we just got good at it. So I did track all up until my sophomore year of college. And I tried to juggle track, basketball, a double major, and a part-time job my junior year of school. And I just left sports. Like, because that's a lot. A lot of people don't understand. Like, they look at athletes as we don't do anything. When you're on the college level, you have like 2 to 3 practices a day, and you have to maintain school, and if you're working. So that's just a lot to juggle, and I just couldn't handle it. So I hung up the Nikes my junior year of college.
Oh my gosh. Multi-talented. All I can say, you know, between me and you, I'm looking at you like, oh my gosh, she is a sports guru for PR and an athlete. This is amazing. How do you juggle it all, though? I mean, your firm is successful. You clearly have made a name for yourself. I know in the beginning it wasn't an easy task for you. Could you just go through just how it kind of was a struggle, or what challenges you may face just starting your own business?
Yeah, actually, let me say this. I didn't start my business just because everybody said so. I wanted to start my business later on in life, like maybe late 30s, early 40s. I didn't plan on starting a business at 24. Like, that just wasn't in the plan. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. So corporate ladder and getting a corporate check, I was all about it, okay? So I think for me, it was just finding clientele.
Yes.
And then niche. Although I do sports PR now, that was not always. Being in an Atlanta area, it's more entertainment based, right? So I work with whoever gave me a chance just to put my name out there. And I kind of ventured off towards what now, but so that's how I did it. So I had to really, I don't want to say get off course to get to where I was now, just to prove that I can do this, right? So when I jumped back in, I think even though at that time I had about 7-8 years under my belt, because I was reaching out to quote unquote mentors and role models, and they didn't want to help me. So I got my master's, and I literally was networking my butt off, and that's how I came up playing now Cheryl Swoops, and it's really been taking off since then.
You basically said it. A lot of times people don't understand. You reach out to people, you know, whether it be like a mentorship or whether it be just someone to, you know, just what, you know, advice. Could you at least give me just, you know, one solemn advice? And there was no one to really reach back and and say, you know, hey, this
about
is
advice.
You know,
it wasn't even about advice. I was asking them, even though, let me come work for you.
Okay.
And at this, because I just want to learn, I'll come help you in exchange for you. I had an quote unquote internship, even after being a business owner. It didn't, and I'm just like, I had a talk with a spiritual coach, you know, and say that I'm better than anybody, but sometimes people will realize the greatness inside of you than you will. Kind of happened. So I was just like, you know what, God, if it's meant for me to do it, then I'll come. And lo and behold, I went to grad school, got accepted, no problem. Like they're like, on this program. Then I meet, you know, the publicist. So it's, you know, God works everything out.
Yes, absolutely. Your faith seems to be your strength behind everything that you have basically accomplished this far.
The reason why I'm here, you know, like I can't give credit to even, oh, I'm self-made. Baby, no, I'm God-made and I'm self-paid. Okay? I just but that's just my story, because I wouldn't be here without having posted this the other day. You got to walk by faith and not by sight. And if I was to walk by sight, and having the opportunities that I do. And I don't want to sound cliche, like, yeah, I prayed and God, no, there's some, but at the end of the day, God is not like man. So he's going to be able to show you, and God could. So it was literally my faith. And at the time, he's been very instrumental in elevating my career. Before we even got together, he was very like, no, push, go for it. You know what I mean? So just having that, and my mom, like it was, I'm about to get emotional.
No, girl, you speaking life.
I had a million no's, but it wasn't even coming from potential clients. It was coming from family and friends and people that's more like close to you. So it's a struggle. So before you think about being a business owner or entrepreneur, please know that this is no easy road. Okay, you really got to have the heart and mind for this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let's talk about just in general. We talked about, you know, just reaching out to some people to motivate you or to give you an opportunity. You have wrote a mini guide for aspiring publicists. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I put It's Just PR, the platform, on pause, but I created that platform because I was so frustrated with people using the word publicist. I think that word is so used overly used to where people don't understand what we do, and people are calling themselves a publicist and they're really not. No shade, no tea. I'm just saying what it is. So I wanted to create a platform to where, listen, if you're going to call yourself a publicist, I'm going to equip you to be a good publicist. So I just basically came up with the It's Just PR starter guide, like letting you know, like, hey, this ain't no textbook, what you're going to learn in class type stuff. This is the real deal. This is what you're dealing with. So if you're thinking you're going to come in here thinking it's all about celebrities and red carpets and free food, choose another career. Go be a club promoter, because this is not the role for you.
Thank you.
That's why I created the book. Yeah.
And that's really, really, again, the honest truth. Because sometimes I think people aren't transparent when they write the books and say, oh, it's going to be easy. All you got to do is, here's your plan from A to Z. But guess what? Sometimes you have to skip A to get to Z and then go back to B to get to C. So I think, again, people just don't understand. And again, that's noble of you to have a transparent write up for those aspiring to be, just like you, and see the platform that you have and want to, be like you. So how do you get your motivation?
Yeah, because like you said, I get my motivation from the name of my company. Because I tell people all the time, if this firm was named after Deidre, I would have quit a long time ago. I'm being totally honest. I would have put down the notebook, the laptop. I would have quit a long time ago. But it's bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a legacy to leave behind. You know what I mean? I put my grandmother out there. So what kind of granddaughter or human or child of God would I be to wrap up this assignment and give up on it? So I just feel like for me, my grandmother is my biggest motivation because my firm is named after her, and I feel like I have responsibility to keep her name alive and to keep who she was as a person alive. Even though I feel like this field that we're in, it can be very evil, she wasn't that. So if I need to be in a position to where I'm in the field and to show people like there is a God, I'll do it.
I love that. Yeah. I'm going to try one more time to get us online so that people really need to hear what you're saying. I mean, I'm so sorry, Deidre. You have really spoke life into me. That's because, again, the thing that I'm going to say this to you, and I hate that I'm taking up all this time with you, but
this is good. This is like one of my favorite interviews, girl. This is real. I love it.
No, because I'm telling you this. I grew up with my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather was a minister. My grandmother was one of my most inspirational persons that I could ever have in my life. When we talk about grandparents, I get a soft spot because I know what they put in me, and what that seed that they planted in me. So whatever I do, just like you, I go forth with it, knowing, okay, will my grandparents be ashamed of me if I do, or would they be proud of me? So it's a lot of times when we talk, when I first started Chicks in the Sports, there was a lot of dark areas. A lot of dark, people don't talk about that. It's a lot of darkness. A lot of people are pulling you. I can do this for you. I can do this. I can do this. I can do that. And I really had to take a 2-year break because it was just too overwhelming. Like when you spoke about darkness and I saw it, I was like, do I really want
to be a part of this? Yeah.
Do I really want to? So what I did, I went back to what I knew what was planted in me. And I knew whatever God has for you is for you. Do not go for it in fear. So from this day forward, I know that whatever I face, He has my back. When friends walk away, like you said, sometimes family may not support you. Sometimes your best friend, you be like, girl, did you see what I...
Exactly.
You have Him to always hold your hand. And I don't always say that a lot, but I'm so like, this is the time. I don't know. This is a blessing. You and I talking about this. It's for real. It's for real. And I definitely want to see if we can try to get in so that other people can at least hear your testimony, because girl, you have blown me away. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. This is fun.
If I could just leave right now with a word of inspiration, I'm like, Deidre has spoke life into me. I am done for the day. There's nothing else I can do because right now I have heard what I need to hear. And I can go to a throttle for it. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
And when I look at your profile, I know a lot of people have, even in our circle, I don't know how we kind of miss each other within our circles. Our circles are very, very, very small. And from what I gather, I've seen nothing but positivity from you and your camp. Everyone is kind of like, we know who she is. We like her. She good. So,
yay! That's good.
Volumes, because you already know our world is very small, period. And when we're trying to get into certain circles, and a lot of our circles just merge together. We don't even even with you doing the sports side, how many times have the media or entertainment side intertwined with your role?
I mean, it definitely does, because sports is entertainment. You know what I mean? So it's definitely going to be some connection there with or without it. No, I don't do entertainment PR necessarily anymore, but it's going to always be there because sports is a form of entertainment. So I just get to pick and choose what I want to entertain.
Yeah. I get that. I get it. I definitely get that. Now,
Yeah.
when I asked you about your inspiration, your grandmother, again, let's go backwards. She was your inspiration. She has inspired you this far.
Mm-hmm.
What has been one of those success stories that you can kind of talk about and just be like, you know what, I didn't know that this was going to lead to this result here? What was that moment like, or what experience can you talk about?
Honestly, I think, and not to sound so cliche, but I think every day is like that for me. What really kind of put the nail like in the head is when I received an email saying that I was being honored for 30 under 30. I said, who, me? Like, is this Deidre? Like, I'm not the type to put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got the email saying that I'm gonna be honored, I was like, wow, like people are really watching me. So I think that was like one of my most proudest moments. And then of course, just starting my firm, because every day I'm learning something new about myself. I'm learning something new about the industry. I'm learning something new about my clients. And then I'm always getting people that's coming to me and like, hey, yeah, I know Maylee Media. And I've never met these people in my life. I remember last year going to an event and me and the lady were in the restroom, freshening up. And she gave me her card. I gave her mine. I didn't know this lady. And she was like, you're Maylee Media? I follow you. Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. So it's just, I think for me, just every day is like that motivation, because I'm always running into something new. And I think that I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for any other entrepreneur. I can't speak for any other publicist, but I think with me just staying true to myself and not compromising, that is enough motivation in itself. And I think that just should be, how everybody should look at it, because I'm not the type, I literally just did a live about this before we got on. I'm not the type to try to rush stuff. And I know it seems disheartening, especially with the age of social media, but you just got to be able to stay true to yourself and just expect the road that's given to you.
I love that. You are a woman that has a very old soul. When I say
you
wisdom,
got a lot.
you have been speaking wisdom to me, girl. I'm just like, it all right now, because again, when we talk about social media, I am a kid of the 90s. Tupac was my era. So that's how old I am. But also social media was non-existent. So we never had those problems of, oh, we're doing it for likes. It was always a situation where we just did it. Whatever we did, we just put it out there. We did it. So moving now, like you said, into this world of social media, I think it is very important that you did hit on that. Like, look, I'm not necessarily doing this for likes. I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed, this is the journey that I'm on. This is what I need to do. Whether it gets 1,000 likes or whether it gets 2 likes, I'm okay with that, because I know what I need to do to get my business up. And sometimes I don't think people quite understand that notion.
No, I think what's funny? I was going through my phone this morning trying to delete stuff because I need to clear out some storage. And I came across this video I saved from E.T., the hip hop preacher. And he was like, these young cats be coming at me talking about they going to pass me up and stuff. He said, if you're doing it for the money, you will never catch me. I do this for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And that right there just hit me, because a lot of people, y'all going about this the wrong way. I'm not here to serve people. I'm not here to serve man. I'm here to serve a God. You know what I mean? So you will never catch me if that's your MO. So that's good. That's good.
For sure. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Amazing. Deidre Palode. Oh, you are going to be my friend for life. I don't know how this happened, but I definitely, maybe this whole technical issue is a part of God's plan, because sometimes you have to see people to inspire you, even in your times of challenging times or struggles. So I am definitely inspired by you. All I can say is, whatever the chicks need to do to help you along your way, if we can help you or you feel we can help you, look, let's, I'm here.
Likewise.
All the time. I will be here. Now, If I could ask you one question about one thing that most people don't know about you, what is that one thing?
What most people don't know about me? What don't you know? Okay. As much as a tomboy that I was growing up, and much as I like talked about sports, my mom put me in choir in 6th grade, and I can't sing.
Oh my God.
Sing a lick. At the time, I was in the Mississippi school system on the Gulf Coast, and you had to pick an elective. I wanted to do band because I wanted to play the drums. But, you know, she didn't have money for an instrument. The class was booked. So she put me in choir, and I didn't know until I got to school. I'm thinking I'm finna walk into band. And she was like, Deidre, I didn't have the money. The class was full. You sing it. And I can't sing it. So I don't know that.
Oh my gosh, okay. She's a singer too. Oh my gosh, but that's good. Okay, that's wonderful. Now, with your career of singing, is there any particular songs that you will always remember from the choir? Was it like a gospel choir or what?
No, it was just for the school.
Okay.
It was the school choir. I was in 6th grade. I was in middle school. And the only thing I remember, and to this day, I still can't read music. I finessed way through that class. I don't know how I passed because I cannot read music. I was basically like Nick Cannon in Drumline, just remembering stuff, right? So to this day, I can't remember the songs, but I did a solo.
Oh.
And oh my God, I was so embarrassed because it wasn't supposed to be a solo. My classmate was supposed to come. We was going to do it together, but she didn't show up the night of our concert. So I had to do a solo by myself. And the thing was to not sound so bad, I kind of whispered the whole song. Wow. I whispered the whole song.
Well. I guess, again, certain times in your life, you have things to happen, and that just makes you up to be the spectacular person you are.
I was so mad at my mom, though. I was so mad. I'm like, she put me, and then we had these ugly dresses. Like, I was a tomboy, like dresses and skirts and stuff. I didn't do that. Like, give me some sneakers and some sweats. I was chilling with no makeup on before the song. So that's what I want. And I was just, I did not like my mom in my 5th grade.
I know, call her up. Tell her now. You know what? Let me explain something to you. When I was in the 6th grade, because I do my mom like that often. I'm like, you know what? I should still call Department of Family Children Services.
Right.
Because 15 years ago.
Exactly. I'm like, what was you thinking?
What was you thinking?
I should call mom and be like, I'm calling defects on you. Knowing my mom, she'll probably say something funny like, it's the fact I didn't have no money to put you in bed. My mom was crazy.
Yes, I get it. I have one of those too. Now, okay, I just want to kind of get off chart for a quick second.
Okay.
Michael Jordan aired, of course, The Last Dance. Everyone is speaking about it.
Yes.
Have you seen it, and what's your thoughts about it?
Yes, I have seen it. Nobody talked to me on Sunday. I don't want to hear you. I am watching my dad right now. Like, leave me alone.
Right.
So this Last Dance, like The Last Dance has really opened up my eyes, actually, because a lot of stuff went on that I didn't know about. Like, it's been some tea on ESPN, The Last Dance. I didn't know about this stuff. So it's been a lot of things I didn't know about, but it's also been, I put it in my weekly newsletter when it first aired. It was some takeaways that I took from it. And I like how Jordan, he said one thing. He said, don't mention me without mentioning Scottie Pippen. Because I think a lot of times people know who he is, but they forget, like, Jordan needed help. And who was that helpmate? You know what I mean? So I like the fact that he gave credit to Scottie Pippen. And I like the fact that he was a real leader. Like, the episode that just aired, I think they were trying to give Scottie an interview, and Jordan was like, no, we got to go. Like, let's go. So I love what's happening right now. I didn't know the beef and all that with Isaiah Thomas. And what's crazy, I literally met him for the first time during All-Star, and he's a sweetheart. So it's just a lot of stuff. Like, they was
I saw it, and I am glued because again, just seeing the back, behind the scenes of everything,
Mhm.
just going backwards. For me, it took me back to a day I had forgot that I was a sneakerhead. I love
Mhm.
Jordans. I used to rock the newest Jordans as much as I can, not anymore,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it just took me back to a place, especially the last episode where Kobe Bryant was able to talk about,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, and from his perspective, Jordan, and just to see how Jordan was like that kid, that Lakers kid. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
he really saw that potential in him a long time ago. So
Yeah.
it's just amazing that how, sometimes we always don't give praise to the people that's in our inner circle, or just people that we see that's doing fantastic and doing a wonderful job. You, my friend, like I will always say, I am impressed. When I grow up, I'm gonna want to be like you.
No, no, don't be, look. I'm gonna tell you like my mama tell me. Don't be like me. Be better than me.
I
Be
got
better
you.
than me.
That's it. I understand. I get that. I remember those talks. But no, that's very noble for you to say that. But again, you hands down, you have inspired me.
Yay! I'm
I
glad.
don't normally go out my way and say that, but you have, especially of your area, the youth in your area is not always together. Hence, people in my house.
Girl, that is another interview for another day. And everything else so we can fulfill our spirit because honey, talking about that, you're gonna be deplenished and
Yes.
thirsty.
Okay. Yes. 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 Now, final question for you: legacy. Let's talk about your legacy. When it's
Okay.
all said and done, what would you say your legacy will be?
I want my legacy to be authentic. I want people to know that Deidre literally beasted and dominated her industry without compromising. She set a standard for people that don't want to succumb to this industry. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? She didn't sell out. I want people to remember that. And then I also want people to remember that I reached back and I grabbed those who couldn't come with me at the time. I reached back and I grabbed those who want to, but they just don't have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
Deidre went and she put out salaries. She fed families. I want people to remember me as not just a mogul or a billionaire. I want people to remember me as somebody that was like creating a dynasty for the underdogs.
I
I
love
want
it.
people to remember me like that.
That's dope. I love
Yeah.
that, Deidre. That is all that. Again, I know. Thank you
Yeah,
so
cause
much.
I'm an underdog, so I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't grab the other underdogs. You know what I mean? Like it's cool that you're popular, it's cool that you're an influencer, but everybody don't have access to that. Everybody
That's
don't have a million followers. Everybody don't have $1 million. But if they got passion, if they got Christ, if they got hard work and dedication, then I'm going to bring you along because you may need something that I, may need. So we can work together. So I definitely want to leave a dynasty for the underdog community.
You are definitely on your way, my friend. I can say
I
that for
hope so.
sure. No,
Thank
no. Speaking it right now into existence, you are on your way.